Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's RJ here, and I got another trade recap for you guys. Oh, I minimized everything. Yeah, so today's a good day. It was green. Really good, clean trades on skills. Ticker symbol SKLZ. Other than that, a lot of the things on my watch list that I was really looking at was very choppy for me. And I'll show you guys when I bring you guys into the monitor what I'm talking about. But it was kind of brutal if you're looking at stocks like Apple, which is normally on my deck, Neo, which is normally my go-to. I have like a dedicated spot in my watch list for Neo. But they looked super choppy, so I just focused on SKLZ and got a good entry on the short. I'll bring you guys over here and show you what I did. And pretty much just rode it all the way down, and I'll show you guys where I was moving my stop loss to. Yeah, come on over, let's take a look. So let's do this recap on ticker symbol SKLZ. Let's get our drawing tool out. Whoa, that's thick. Thick. Let's go thinner. Yo, these things are thick AF. Let's lower this down. Okay, much better. Right off the gate, skills looked like it was trying to do an opening range breakdown here. So pre-market, it was moving towards highs, making higher highs and higher lows. And then just about 5 minutes before, it went ahead and gave you this candle right here. And then it opened right here and started to go downwards. Okay, and because of that, I went ahead and took a short position right here just below VWAP around your, this was 1890 area, or 1890. And then it picked back up here. So it created this hammer doji with a bottom tail. So I did get stopped out. I kept my stop loss right above VWAP at about 1910. So it was about a 20-cent loss. Now, it did look like it was starting to go bullish, right? So it created this topping tail. This bottom tail, this hammer doji on the 5 minute, and it was already making the first 1 minute candle to make a new high here. But what I saw was there was a lot of selling pressure on the level 2. And on the 5 minute, I did see it was making lower lows and lower highs. So I did decide to make a entry right here. And it was around your, let me look, it was like 1920, 1923 area. I know that one because it was a pretty good entry. So I did a 1923 entry short, and my stop was right here at 1940, the top of this red candle. Okay, so if it broke that means it was making higher highs and higher lows. But instead, we had this nice flush all the way down, breaking through VWAP and into pretty much your 1860s area right from this candle. Okay, so it did take a little bit. So there's a first 5 minute, there's a 10-minute candle. So I had to wait about 10 minutes for my next entry after this stop out. Okay, so I entered at 1923, and it just pretty much went all the way down. And my first partial was here at about 18, I want to say it was 1880s. Okay, so it was already almost a 40-cent partial, which was really nice. And then it started going down, and then it did kind of curl back up. I did take another partial right here, right on the EMA, same area, around 1875 area, and then it continued to go downwards. This is one of those things where I can show you guys exactly how I move my stop loss. So after I take this partial and it continues its downward move, I will move my stop loss at the last pullback. Okay, so my stop loss was right here on the first one. And so it kept going back down, and then started to consolidate again right in this area. And right in this area, I did see that level 2 was showing really good reads. And so I re-added my position. I added more into the position here around the 1830s, which brought my cost basis to 81. Okay, so it brought it around here in this area. So that my cost basis went from 1923 to 1881 pretty much. Now my stop loss, you got to treat your re-adds pretty much as a brand new trade. Okay, you can't add it as the old trade because this is important to know. When you re-add, you have to treat it as a brand new trade. Okay, you can't piggyback it off the old trade. So my stop loss was right here. This candle was my stop loss. So I had about a 20 cent stop loss, and at this time I'd already created a nice buffer for myself. So after the re-add, it did continue its downward move, and I partialed again here at the 1820s area. And so these are really, really great profits, guys, because remember, my new cost basis is around 1880s, 1881, and I took another partial here at 1820s area, or it looks like it's way below 1820. Let's just call it 1815, okay? So that was another 80-cent move pretty much. So if I take a partial here, where do I put my stop loss? I'll give you guys like 2 seconds. I'll put it right here, right? The last pullback is where I put my new stop loss. And so continues this downward momentum, this downward move. And then here's the pullback. And then it continues with this one and this one, okay? So what's important is with this red candle and this red candle, that means I put my stop loss right here. And that's pretty much where I got stopped out, okay? So what ended up happening was I moved when I saw this pullback and I saw 2 more candles, I was assuming it was just going to go downwards more. So I moved my stop loss right here, right pretty much around $18. Okay, so, oh yeah, my math was way off over here. So right at $18, my new cost basis was 1881. And I got stopped out for the rest of my shares at $18. Okay, so that was an 80 cent move for that, and that was really good. Here I did try to take another short position, and obviously at the grand scheme of things it got a lot better, but I didn't want to give back profits. I'm notorious for giving back profits, so I pretty much just broke even. I lost like maybe 1 or 2 cents plus commissions. So it did make a nice downward move towards 1734, which was, oh well, it is what it is, guys, right? I mean, you can't be upset that I took an entry at 1920 and sold and went all out over here at $18. So good trade right there. This was pretty much the only trade that I saw that had really good follow through. It wasn't choppy on the 5-minute and the 1-minute chart. On the 1 minute, you can see that it's just riding this 9 EMA all the way through. It would touch it, it would never really break it. Over here, it kind of peaked, and then it just continued to go down. So that was my good trade on SKLZ. I pretty much milked that the entire way. Now I will show you the others, which I wasn't really fond of. Okay, so let's look at Apple here. So from its open, look at this. What is my drawing doing? It had a tail all the way at 1335 and a bottom tail at 132.75. Okay, so that's the kind of choppiness we're looking at, and we want to make sure we do not trade something like this. Now, like I said, Apple has given me tendies in the past, but this is the kind of price action you do not want to trade. This is really good for recaps, just to show you guys, because these candles overlap each other every time. I mean, look at this candle. It had a low of around 132.50 and a high of 133.17. That's ridiculous. So no matter what, if you try and go in on Apple, you would have gotten stopped out every single time. Okay, every time. These each candle overlapped each other every single time. And that's the kind of choppiness you don't want to trade. Even Neo was kind of doing the same thing, right? It almost looked like it was about to do an opening range breakup over here, broke the VWAP, and then kind of pulled back, and then it came back up, and then it kind of flushed, right? And in this price action, if I was analyzing this, which I was gonna say, okay, maybe I want to take, this was a false breakup, and it couldn't reclaim VWAP, and it couldn't hold it, so it's gonna flush back down. So if I really wanted, I could have possibly taken a short position right here for this dotted line is yesterday's close. Okay, and I could have gotten a pretty decent profit. I probably would have partialed out right here, just because those always act as strong resistance points, yesterday's close. And then it went down here, and then look at this monster move up. And so without these lines, without these candles seeing into the future, that looks like an engulfing candle. So it looks like, okay, the bulls have taken over. It looks like let's go back in. And then it flushes back down. Okay? So when it flushes back down, as a trader, you're like, okay, so it couldn't hold VWAP. The pink line or the fusion line is my VWAP. It couldn't hold it. It broke through yesterday's lows. If you wanted to take another short, it would have climbed back up. You see this? And then it reclaimed VWAP. And this is brutal right from get-go. Now, looking at Apple now, it did take off finally, but no way. I wouldn't trade something like that today. That's just an L waiting to happen. So I hope you guys enjoyed that recap. Nice trade on SKLZ. Again, it was the only one for me that had really nice follow through. I'm sure other people made a lot of good trades everywhere else. Neo eventually gave in and had a nice flush by the time I finished recording this. I took a peek at it. I closed everything down because knowing my personality, I like to come back and overtrade and give back my tendies. So not doing that, I shut everything off. I don't even want to look at a candlestick and tempt myself. So it is important on days like this, if I showed you guys Apple, and Apple in the past has made me a lot of money, but I want to say within a week, Apple has given me about $2,000 on both the long and the short side. But if you look at it today, you can't force it. The choppiness is ridiculous. It would have chopped you out 100% if you were a day trader. Okay? So it's important to stay vigilant, and it's important to exercise patience when you guys are trading stocks like this, especially if you're a beginner. Because what ends up happening is you get FOMO and you just want to enter every single trade because you don't want to miss out on the next big move. I was super guilty of this when I first started out. When you get better and better, you become more patient until the setup comes to you. And so, again, for my style of trading, I really like to be, I'm a technical trader, so I look at ABCD patterns, reverse ABCD patterns, bull flags, bear flags, orbs, so opening range breakups and opening range breakdowns. And then if you have a really sick entry on any of those, all you have to do is pretty much just ride the gains up or down. And so it's important to really focus on the entry, and it's important to really stay patient, because there might not be a trade that opens up for the first hour, depending on your trading style. If you're a technical trader, just wait until everything dies down, until you see a really good pattern that you like and some follow through. Okay, not every day it's going to be sunshines and rainbows, but today I had a really good trade on SKLZ. I'm glad it was on my thumbnails. I have no one to trade. I have everyone to thank at Bearable Traders for that, because I love tuning into their morning show and their technical analysis. Everyone on that team is amazing. So yeah, I hope everyone traded well. Let's end tomorrow on a green. I've been super green this week, so if I didn't exercise caution, old RJ would have traded Apple. Old RJ would have just kept over trading and probably would have been 60,000 shares deep, paying $200 in commission fees. So hope you guys enjoyed that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember, stay vigilant, stay clean, trade green. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.